Hi, Kevin Blanche. It's Veteran Day today. I get real emotional when I come over here. I come over here every Veterans Day. I don't know. I've been real emotional this morning. It's on my way over here. Stairway to Heaven was playing. Anyway, I live just right around the corner of the community. My dad was an atomic veteran. Nobody even knows who they are. They don't have a clue what an atomic veteran is. It just shows you how the reality of this country really is. You know, we grandstand war. We put a yellow sticker on our car. You don't even want to have me go off on that. Look, bottom line is these wars are unjust and they have consequences. They should never happen. Korea should have never happened. Vietnam should have never happened. Iraq should have never happened. Memorials don't make up for any of this. They don't make up for anything. A yellow sticker on a car doesn't justify anything. None of this justifies anything. The reality of the situation, these are men who die. Dead. And they have kids and they have grandkids. My father at least got to live to see his grandchildren. Okay? These are his dog tags. I wore them so long after his death that you can see the top. I had to finally take them off before I lost them. So I wore the whole from that. Anyway, he was in his 60s when he died. He had a body like a 40-year-old, a mind like a 20-year-old. My little girls freaking adored him. That's his draft card. He was drafted out here in 1954 in this community by a bunch of spiteful, hateful creeps. One guy was drafted. One. He was just like me in that context. They nailed the sticks up and hammer it down. Well, they hammered him down. They killed him. And I don't know how anybody could not, in their mind, could not understand. These are premeditated murders in my book. I mean, Iraq, all of it. You know, they grandstand, they grandiose, they create this fallacy. The reality of the situation, we had no business ever being over there. And like I said, young men die. It's sad. It's horrible, but to the atomic veterans, I will never forget any of you. There's 40,000 of them. Every single one of them is dead. From 1954 to 1968. That's how sick our government is. This all comes from the far freaking radical freaking thinking. McCarthy's thinking's where this started, clear back then. The commies are getting us, the commies are getting us, the commies are getting us. So they come up with this plan via the U.S. military to take their Semper Fi, most honorable Marines, because they knew they would keep their mouths zipped, which my dad did. My dad was Semper Fi to the death, refused morphine to the death. I held his hand. Everybody else freaking, after he passed, they cleared out. Everybody was a wreck. You seeing a person, like I said, in perfectly good condition, mind like a 20-year-old, body like a 20-year-old, die. I watched him load him in the body bag. He never said anything, but he kept us safe, and he'd had conversations with me. And my Uncle Claude, who's on this, who was a big wig at the Pentagon, Claude Blanche, he did a lot of research on this. He knew. Claude told me, he says, when your dad came home, he says he was an incredible athlete. He says, I knew something happened. He couldn't run anymore. You know, he says, he just wasn't the same guy. Well, his whole life he was really, really healthy, really healthy. He was a health nut. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, you know, had muscles ripped. My mom said he looked just like Elvis Presley with muscles. He did. And so, kid, he was a ladies' man big time. Women went crazy over him. My mom was beautiful. He was in love with her. She'd been alone for a while now, but they killed these guys. They took the best Marines. The military is so sick. From 1954 to 1968, they did this 8 times. They got names for them. There's one in 54, 56, 58. They named them Indian names. Okay? They marched these guys into the desert, had them battle ready for Korea and or Vietnam, marched them into the desert, put them at ground zero, and they nuked them. Radiated them. because this was a test going on to see how they would respond in the theater after being radiated. Well, a lot of them, they got too close. They killed people right at the bomb site. My dad almost died at the bomb site. But anyway, every last single one of them died of leukemia. 40,000 or 40,000. They have no voice because they're all dead. Most of them died in the 40s, leukemia 50s. My dad made it to his 60s. But I mean, you think about that. You know, when people want to wrap themselves up in the flag, not me. You'll never see me wrap myself in the flag. And I'll tell you what, you'll never see the fucking day with me with a fucking yellow sticker on my fucking car. I mean, this country can justify fucking anything with the little easiest of the easy. It's sickening. At least they put a memorial up here for him. Joseph Anderson. He died in Vietnam at 19. Herb Molina, I think he also died in Vietnam. My dad, atomic veteran, Fred Underwood. We have this beautiful cemetery. Our families, my grandma, well, I know, relative of mine was the very first person buried in this cemetery. I'm the 6th generation to live on the same family ranch. But, you know, United States government passing out fucking medals here, there, fuck their medals. You know, money, fuck their fucking money. Who fucking wants that fucking money? He didn't. I sure didn't. I know what he would have done if somebody would have tried to give me money. But ceremonies, they're important, I understand. Medals, I ain't into them. Yellow stickers on your car, you can fucking have them. But in my soul and in my mind, the one thing that we can do, every one of us, if you have a loved one who's died, whatever, they live on through us. I know one thing, I haven't forgot him. You know, the 40,000 atomic veterans, and he'll live on through me. You know, not with some sticker, not with some freaking medal, not with anything. He's in my soul. He's part of me, and I'll live my life as he would. That's all we can do. Veterans Day to all you young people that had Iraqi family members killed over there. I mean, I cry for you, I really do. I mean, I don't think people in this country have any freaking clue unless they actually have lost someone. The implications to their children, to their family, to their mothers, to their sisters. I mean, it has ugly, ugly, ugly ramifications. And it breaks people's hearts, and it stays, that pain stays forever. Veterans Day 2010, Kevin Blanch.